You hate your husband, the story is for you. Almost exactly 6 years ago, I hated my husband so much that I wanted to ruin my marriage so bad that it was unreturnable. My husband and I at the time had been married for 5 or 6 years, and we were at the point where we just couldn't even sit next to each other or look at each other or be in the same space together. We just hated each other. At the time, I was working at a country club, and one of my richest customers asked if I would come to his Halloween party. I asked my parents and my husband if they wanted to go, but only my parents agreed. So on Halloween, we went to his Halloween party. Now, when I say we went to his Halloween party, we went to his huge mansion that was so intricately decorated, it was like out of a movie. And within seconds of me arriving, he introduced me to his son, who was handsome and my age. It was really clear to me that he really, really wanted me to meet his son. His son offered to give me a tour of their house, and of course I said yes because I was so curious. And at the end of the tour, he asked me if I wanted to see his bedroom. It was at that very second that I thought to myself that I could absolutely ruin my marriage right now and never have to look back again at it. Something in my soul kept telling me, don't. Just turn around and go back to the party and enjoy it. Even though every part of me wanted to just be done with my marriage. I literally spent the whole drive to the party with my parents in the car, talking to them about how I'm going to move back in with them and my husband and I are going to sell our house. But my soul spoke and I listened, and I went back to the party, hung out with my parents, enjoyed it, and came home. The following day I woke up and just wasn't feeling good. I was off, uncomfortable. I wasn't really sure what it was, but just didn't feel very good. I also kind of forgot to mention that my husband and I had been trying to have a baby for about 5 years. And I think all the tension of trying to have a baby is really what ruined our marriage. Well, maybe a few other things, but that put a lot of weight and strain on us. I had been on all sorts of medications and programs to try and get pregnant, and nothing was working. I had begrudgingly decided to take a pregnancy test expecting another negative, but it was positive. I immediately cried to God and asked why he had chosen to get me stuck in this marriage. I now felt stuck. Having this child was going to make me stuck to my husband forever. When I told my husband, he was happy, but he was also just as nervous and uncomfortable as I was. Little did we know that over the next 12 weeks, we were going to get a lot closer. We now had something we were fighting for together. But that all ended tragically when we lost the baby due to a miscarriage just shortly after our first trimester. To tell you I was depressed was an understatement. I was a shell of a person. I felt terrible and horrible, barely wanted to live. I hated God. I hated him. I feel embarrassed to say that, but I did. The miscarriage itself was terrible. I mean, it was like a scene out of a movie where I was screaming and crying and drooling because I couldn't control the pain that I was in. I couldn't control my body. We had to go to the emergency room, and it turned out that there were some complications. The next 7 months, I lived as a shell of a person. My husband, though, became the husband I always needed him to be. He was supportive, understanding, compassionate. He was there to listen. He was so helpful. He saw how hurt I was, and he showed up. On July 4th of 2019, all the pain and depression was alleviated when I found out I was pregnant again. And this pregnancy came with every complication under the sun. I started having contractions at 17 weeks. I was on bed rest. I had to be on all sorts of medications and basically sit and lay down for my whole pregnancy. My husband was there for it every step of the way. He helped me with nausea, fed me medication. I was puking every single day, almost the whole 9 months. About 3 weeks before my delivery day, I started insisting that I needed to deliver the baby now. Doctors and even my family told me I was hysterical because I was nervous about losing the baby, but I knew she needed to come out. A week before my due date, my doctor agreed that he would go ahead and induce me and we would give birth to our daughter. But she came out completely blue, without a sound, not breathing. The cord had been wrapped around her neck twice. During the whole delivery process, I saw my husband looking at my mother-in-law who is a labor and delivery nurse, and she looking at the doctor who understood something was wrong as well, and the doctor looking back at my husband who's also in healthcare and understood that something was wrong. When Alia came out, the cord was wrapped around her neck twice. So no, she hadn't been breathing for quite some time, and it took a minute or two to get her to breathe. I cannot explain to you what that first cry felt like. I cannot explain to you. There was no way I was going to lose another baby. Now I can easily tell you that Alia is the greatest blessing of our life, our firstborn, our sweet girl. But the whole first year of her life, She cried and screamed. She never slept. So many nights up with her crying while singing "You Are My Sunshine," trying to put her to bed. But let me tell you, my husband showed up. He changed her diapers for the first 2 weeks of her life and even taught me how to change a diaper because I'd never changed one until I had my own child. He fed her every way that he could. He comforted her every single night. We took turns. We listened to each other. We traded. We heard each other's bodies. That man showed up in a way that I never knew was possible. Now, because it took us 5 years to make Alia, we thought it would take us 5 years to make another child, but at 8 months postpartum, we got pregnant with Emma. My pregnancy with Emma was nearly identical to my pregnancy with Alia. Lots of bed rest, lots of medication, lots of throwing up. And by the time Emma was born, Alia was 18 months, sleeping through the night like a little baby and everything we could have ever imagined. I had the same feeling about Emma, about her birth, and that I needed her to come early, but everybody told me again that I was hysterical because of what happened with Alia. But like my last pregnancy, I got the doctor to agree to let Emma come a week early, so they induced me. Once Emma came out, everybody in the room looked at me with shock. The doctor had asked if he could keep the umbilical cord because he just had never seen a true knot in his life. A true knot is a knot that forms an umbilical cord when the baby is around 9 weeks gestation. And at any point in time, the baby could kick the true knot, tie a knot in the umbilical cord, and basically itself. My body had told me that Emma needed to come out, and she did. And she survived, and I'm so grateful. And I absolutely did let the doctor keep the true knot. Now, I know the story is getting long, so I'll try and shorten it. My first year with Emma was just as bad as my first year with Alia. She never slept. She cried. Both my kids had terrible reflux. They were both COVID babies, so no doctors were available to see them. So many nights where we were so exhausted, at our wits' end, but my husband showed up. He listened. He was there. He was wonderful. He was everything I ever could have wanted. After Emma hit a year old and Alia was about 2.5 years old, things mellowed out. They became friends. The girls were so adorable with each other. But better than all that, my husband and I got to get caught up on sleep, which also helped us get caught up on each other. We had been so caught up in this cloud, this fog that had been consuming our lives that we had totally forgotten to really focus on our relationship. And although we were showing up for each other and building that trust, we really didn't get to spend a lot of time together. Now, fast forward a few years, Emma's now 4 and Alia is 5. They are the perfect little angels. They are the kindest kids I've ever met. They sleep beautifully through the night. They are best friends. But above all that, my husband and I now get to be the influences and role models that we always wanted our children to see. Now, unfortunately, since having Emma, I have developed a medical issue, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but I have seizures quite frequently. And my husband picks up a lot of my slack, but he never gripes. He never complains. He always shows up for me. He takes the kids to school in the morning, works all day long, picks the kids up after work. I don't have a driver's license because of seizures. And some nights I'm so tired I can't even make dinner. He carries so much of our weight. Now, if you've stayed on this long, I wanted to share this story for one reason and one reason only. I hated my marriage. I prayed. I prayed endlessly on my knees in tears. And on the day I wanted to give up, God showed up. And you might not think he showed up because that kind of ended in tragedy with the miscarriage, but that miscarriage was used in a way to glorify God. He used that tragedy to help my husband and I find each other and to remind us how much we loved each other. He gave us an opportunity to exude teamwork. He gave us the opportunity to show up for each other selflessly. He single-handedly gave us the worst season of our life and simultaneously fixed our marriage and gave us a beautiful family. And all I had to do was submit fully to him. My favorite quote is that God can never lift an unbowed head. You know what's wild too is I have so many stories just like this where I got on my knees and bawled praying to God to just save me. And every single time he showed up just in the nick of time. Jesus saved my marriage, saved my babies by giving me an intuition to know that they needed to come early, and single-handedly gave me the most beautiful family I could have ever asked for. And I just want to come here and publicly say thank you, Jesus. Thank you for all that you have done for me, for my family, for my husband. Thank you for always making yourself present in our lives. And thank you for seeing us.